the importance of making disciples. I don't think Christians often realize in America just like how important that is, because we often get stuck in our Christian bubbles and then we aren't really going out and making disciples. I really hadn't like made a disciple until this summer. Was like really struck with that. Like Jesus commands us to make disciples, and that's something that I've just like, I was like, dang, like, yeah, I need to be making disciples. Like, this is not something that's like, okay, you know, sing in a pew and that's, and then maybe make disciples. Like, no, Jesus says, make disciples first. Like, I'm sending you out to make disciples. This is the whole point of the Great Commission, and like, we're missing it. And that was something that I want to take that back with me, is the importance of all believers making a disciple in their life.
Something that surprised me this summer in New York City is how many people have never heard the name of Jesus. I remember that being shocking. I thought everyone in the United States had at least heard the name of Jesus. I couldn't believe there were people that didn't know his name.
When we first started doing evangelism and stuff this summer, it was like, it made me really anxious, and I wasn't confident, and I didn't feel like a lot of boldness. It was really hard for me, but I just kept praying about it and kept sharing, and yeah, I really felt like through that God just gave me so much joy and just a peace and a rest in him as we would go out. And I'm so excited to continue just abundantly sharing the gospel wherever I go.
We like to describe evangelism as this muscle that you have as a Christian. And coming in, I was probably around a 2 in how comfortable I felt evangelizing, or how adequate I felt. And now I would definitely say that I'm at a 9 or a 10 for sure.
I really don't think that I had a strong heart for the lost until this internship. I did in theory, because that's what I've read, but seeing the lost and being around the lost on a day-to-day basis will change you, and it has changed me, and I think that's something that the church needs to wake up on.
I know from this internship that part of the DNA is prayer, and just being totally dependent on God in everything that we're doing, and just in who we are, just being so dependent on God. That's something else that's what I'm gonna take back with me.
Something that I've been thinking about a lot is that I really just can't unlearn the things that I've learned here. Just like you can't unlearn things about unreached people groups. Once you know that there's billions of people who have not heard the name of Jesus, you can't unlearn that. And the same thing goes with evangelism. Once you are trained in that, and once you know how to evangelize, you can't unlearn that. And once you learn how to make disciples, you can't unlearn that.
I think the biggest difference is I feel empowered to share the gospel, and I didn't feel empowered before.
Without a doubt, I would say come to New York. It's life-changing because it's so centered on abiding and just being connected to the Father in his heart, and everything else flows out from there.
This would be an amazing way to spend your summer if you're a college student, because you're not going to have opportunities like this after you graduate.
I would say do it 100%.